this tool could honestly be life-changing for someone with dyslexia or other reading difficulties. So let's figure out what this is and how it works. Hey guys, Dani here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. This is the C Pen, and it serves a basic function. It essentially allows you to scan text and get it read back to you. I think this product is a necessity for anyone with dyslexia or other reading issues over the age of 15. I know that it is more so advertised for younger children and to help them learn how to read, but as we dive deeper into this review, you will see why I think that that's not true, and also the power it can have for older people. Before we dive into my personal thoughts on the product, let's see what comes inside the box. You get the pen itself, a carrying case, charging cable, earbuds, and some paperwork. The device for me personally did not come with any charge. The first thing that I noticed when I unboxed this product was the sheer lack of accessibility for something that's supposed to be a reading assistant. So it comes with a 10-page manual. It looks thicker than that because it has multiple languages in it, but each language is approximately 10 pages, as well as a battery leaflet about how to keep your thing alive and to keep it in good health. I noticed that the very first heading on this leaflet is called Avoid Extreme Ambient Temperatures. Again, for something that is supposed to be a reading assistant, they aren't even using plain language so that the person getting this product can easily understand what they're talking about. My suggestion right off of the bat would be for this company to create a more easy to understand manual and guide, as well as maybe putting a QR code or something in the manual that they can scan and get a video that goes step by step on how to set up this pen in a simple, easy way. The C Pen has one primary function, which I already said was the fact that it scans text and reads it back to you. But it also has a bunch of other functions that kind of stem off of that primary function. So you can have it scan a whole bunch of text and then delay when it reads it out to you. So say you're scanning a whole paragraph and then it'll read it back to you. You can also scan a singular word and get the definition of that. And then you can also use the microphones that are built in on this device and speak into the pen. The pen can be connected to a computer, so if you scan a bunch of stuff, you can actually save it for later and then load it onto your computer and save it as like a PDF or something. Overall, I think that this tool is very useful to anyone who is in their late teens into adulthood as a complement to other assistive technology. I personally primarily use Kurzweil and Dragon Naturally Speaking, but I also often find myself in situations where I need to read long articles or contracts in spaces where I didn't bring my computer, nor do I feel like I should have to bring my computer or iPad around everywhere in order to have access to these technologies. Because of my learning disabilities, I cannot reliably read what these contracts say, and it makes me very uncomfortable, the fact that I need to be signing things that I don't quite understand, or I cannot be confident in myself that what I read is what is actually on the page. People with learning disabilities are not required to disclose to everyone and anyone that they do have a learning disability, and it can become a very awkward situation where someone might feel like they don't want to express that to somebody else for fear of stigma or anything else. So they're not comfortable asking them to scan the document, and they may not be, or it may not be a situation where it is appropriate to ask for the document to be scanned and then you can go home and read it over, think about it, and then sign. And you also shouldn't feel the need to bring your computer around everywhere just so that you have that option. This is the space in which the C Pen is extremely helpful. The C Pen would basically allow you to have something that's small that you can keep in your bag or even in your pocket, and If a situation, as I've described, arises, you have a way to scan what you should be reading and make sure you have a proper understanding before signing anything or agreeing to anything. That being said, the C Pen does have some shortcomings, most of which stem from the fact that it's not really keeping up with the times and with modern technology, even though it was only released 3 short years ago. In my opinion, it lacks a lot of basic features that you would expect any piece of modern technology to have. For example, it doesn't even come equipped with Bluetooth. So you would have to use earbuds or headphones that are wired into the pen. The reason why this is a problem is because not only does the pen look weird, which is not a complaint at all, it doesn't look like a normal pen, obviously, but then you have this giant wire coming out into your ears. So that does not give you the opportunity to use something discreet like AirPods or wireless headphones in general, to be a little bit more discreet with what you are doing, because again, you do not need to disclose your learning disability to everyone and anyone. And to have a fat, weird looking pen connected to a headphone, you are going to get questions about what that is and what it does and why you need to use it. On top of that, having a wired earphone limits how far you can be away from the product without having it just speak out loud. So let's say you were in a taller chair and your desk is a little bit lower down. I've seen that a lot in university settings. The cable could potentially be too short for you to reach your book to where your face is and do both without picking up the book or something, and making you very uncomfortable and not in a relaxed position while studying. So it would be super nice to see them add Bluetooth capabilities into this pen, and I'm actually going to look into ways on making it able to be Bluetooth, like a DIY hack type of thing, because I think this is very important. The next major issue is that it only reads certain types of fonts. So anything that isn't like a standard sans serif or serif font, like Times New Roman or Arial, it is not going to read. I tried this on a bunch of books I owned. I have the bullet journaling book by Ryder Carroll, and it's in his own like handwriting type font. It could not read it at all. It just gave me a bunch of symbols. I even tried writing on a piece of paper super neatly, so there's no doubt what the letters are in proper standard formation, and it couldn't even consistently read handwriting. It did read it every once in a while. I wrote the word Bob, but overall it would go Bob once and then a bunch of symbols and then Bob once. Like, it was not reliable. This flaw is why I actually recommend this for more older people and not for children. Children's books tend to be more liberal with the fonts that they use to make a book entertaining. So if you bought a bunch of children's books and used this device to help your child read, pretty much 90% of the time it wouldn't work. But for older people, so late teens into adulthood, pretty much any legal document or contract or anything of that nature would be written in very standardized font. It should be able to read it, so then this is why this tool becomes useful for people like that, but not as useful for children. Overall, I think that the C Pen is a great addition to my toolkit. I would like to see some of these companies come up with more a la carte solutions. For example, I would love to see the C Pen functionality be combined with something like the LiveScribe functionality, so that people with learning disabilities don't have to have single-use devices for everything. So like a LiveScribe pen for writing and a C Pen for reading and a different program for text-to-speech and a different program for speech-to-text. It A, becomes expensive, B, it's cumbersome, and C, you're carrying around a lot of stuff. So I think that that is something that the industry should work towards, and it would be of great benefit to people with learning disabilities. But if this device has the functionality that you find or think will be beneficial to you, I would definitely say go for it in purchasing this device. There are actually 2 models of this device. There's the original C Pen, which is around 330 Canadian dollars, and then there's the C Pen BT or Bluetooth. That is around 130 Canadian dollars. I definitely and highly recommend going with the more expensive and older option than the Bluetooth version, just because the whole reliance on an iPhone app again adds more things to draw attention to you when you don't necessarily want attention being drawn to you, and there can be connection issues. It's a mess. The app isn't very good. I did check it out. I did consider getting that one. So I would say get the more expensive classic C Pen if that is the case. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. If you want to keep up with me and my adventures, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.